Still dealing with courts. I don't think
Yeah.
there's actually anything today. Is there?
I think they're skipping today.
Yeah.
And we get Tuesday, Wednesday, I think is the extent of it.
I mean,
If you haven't done so, I strongly recommend looking at Florian Mueller's tweets about this. Very interesting.
Yep. The most interesting thing, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff that's come out of this, but I think the most telling thing that will happen throughout this entire court case will happen on Thursday.
Yeah.
Because that's the closing arguments, but the judge has already notified both counsels that they will have questions. And that should give us maybe like a like hinting of like which way they're leaning, maybe trying to.
Yep.
Because if they're like, FTC, why are you terrible? Then that's probably good for Microsoft.
We're in good shape. Yeah, exactly.
However, if it's like, Phil Spencer, I think you're the devil, then
Yeah. Probably going to be something between those two.
I really hope it's something like the judge sitting there going, okay, so how, Mr. Microsoft, do I actually get dark mode to turn on at 7 p.m.? Like, is the first question. Like, just tech support.
God, I hope so. So is it true that I need a Microsoft account to play games on my computer?
Yeah. So I'm still running XP at home. How would you recommend I upgrade?
Right.
Actually, the best thing that they should come out and say is we're actually not letting you buy Activision because you shipped things with an Intel Atom processor in it.
Right.
This is punishment.
Listen, I'm using Windows 11 and it keeps interrupting my flow. I think I'm just going to say no to this.
Let's see. What else? That really sucked up the... I mean, Phil Spencer was on the stand. They didn't try. They were looking at buying Zynga. That was a revelation from Friday afternoon.
Oh, they also, the impetus for this purchase was Sony has been paying publishers not to put games on Xbox, which, by the way, why the frick isn't Sony sitting in front of this panel?
Yeah.
Like, with some antitrust charge. I mean, what the hell? The market leader is paying companies not to publish games on the third place console. That's amazing. This acquisition should be approved just on the merits of that.
And then the Microsoft also spent $7 billion on Bethesda. Isn't that what they spent? Because they were hearing that Sony was again going to pay for Starfield to not be on Xbox.
Right.
And so they're like,
Yeah. And remind me, Starfield, where is it now?
It's still in the stars, maybe near a field. Like,
is it launching on PlayStation? I don't think so.
No. Well, it hasn't launched on Xbox either, so, I mean, realistically,
fair enough.
It hasn't launched anything. We've seen video that it exists.
Sure. Yeah, you can't fake that, so. I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's the least buggy game ever shipped or something.
Well, then it wouldn't be a Bethesda game. I mean,
Yeah.
That's sort of Bethesda's hallmark is hilarious bugs sometimes, so it's,
Yep.
What else did Phil say while he was on the stand? I meant to look at... I have notes somewhere because I listened to far too much of it.
I was hoping to write something up about this over the weekend, but I didn't really find much in the way of new.
Yeah. I mean, it was all things that we'd heard over time, like the Zynga stuff. Phil Spencer does claim that they are profitable, and he said that in the court.
So I didn't see that. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear more about that.
So you should go listen to it very, very, very carefully. Because it says that they are required to be profitable based on their agreement within the business. Now, they had some financials like done behind closed doors that nobody was allowed to hear unless you're in the court.
Right.
So it makes it seem like they are profitable, but there's some like wiggle room in there. It's like, well, like
I don't think so.
How profitable?
I do, in any big corporation, someone will come in like a Satya Nadella or some other leader and kind of say, hey, okay, guys, we need to justify your existence. This was the reason he got rid of Windows Phone, right? I mean, there was no version of this where this thing ever made any sense. I think the Xbox thing has been built on a promise that Xbox could fit within the whole cloud focus of the company and that maybe the future would be okay. But
the note that I had written down is that Spencer stated that Xbox has to be profitable and is profitable. Now, I will sit here and tell you that how you define profitability inside of a large company like this is a bit dicey. Perfect example. Do they pay market rate for Azure costs?
Yeah.
If the answer is no, then are they actually profitable?
Yeah, that doesn't bug me too much. I think the broader strokes of this business are console and game sales, and the big difference
Hmm.
between the Xbox. The one thing I did catch. This is from earlier in the week last week was you know, Sony and Nintendo are both profitable when they sell consoles. In fact, they're often profitable even on the first gen, right? But the goal with any console generation is to cost reduce over time, and Microsoft's goal has always been to cost reduce so that they could turn something that was a loss leader, like the Razer Blade model,
Hmm.
and turn that into a profitable part of the business too, because they were making money on games, right? That or theoretically, I guess. And I don't. I feel like we would have heard a lot about this if this had ever happened. I don't
Yeah,
think it
well,
has. Sony and Nintendo were very transparent about this.
yeah, but that's the value of Microsoft. They're so large they don't have to be, and that's sort of
Yeah.
at the disservice to a lot of people,
Right.
including investors. But
Yep. 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 Yep.
yeah,
Hmm.
the
I don't
other
know.
interesting thing that has just sort of been an overall arc of a theme is how little like xCloud and cloud gaming. Yeah, it's been part of it, but
Sure.
if you went back 2 years ago, like it was the strategy, like it was this is the thing that's gonna. And now all of a sudden, based on through all these conversations and even Microsoft's own verbiage, it's like, maybe not so much. I think like somebody from
Oh,
Stadia took the stand too on
the
Friday.
exact quote from Microsoft on that was beautiful. I'll have to paraphrase, but it was basically when we entered this business, it was 3 billion additional members of an audience that was the potential for this market, and now it's a place where Xbox users go to test games before they buy them.
I mean, that's exactly how I use it.
And I know and wow, I mean,
And
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like
no,
I
it's
said,
fine.
it proves the model works in a way when I can easily kind of frictionlessly, test something like Redfall and say, yeah, this isn't something I want to spend my time on.
Mhm.
And in the past, you'd have to at the very least download it, which is, these games can be humongous.
Yep.
Or in the distant past, you just have to buy it and hope for the best.
Hmm.
And that's obviously not why game streaming exists or whatever, Xbox Cloud Gaming, but it's as part of the overall model. It's a nice thing to have as an Xbox person.
Well, the other interesting or funny quote, I should say, that's come out, I think it was on Friday or over the weekend or whatever, it says that YouTube is testing game streaming. But what they're really testing is a feature of Stadia that they showed off, but it never shipped, where you can see a game like somebody playing Madden,
Yeah.
and you can just click a button and start playing. At least
What does that
trial
even
it.
mean? They're going to have to connect with third-party publishers to for this to make any
I
sense.
don't
Like,
know.
what's
I
the?
mean, it's a thing
I
that
don't.
they
I
already have done.
still feel like they gave up on Stadia too quick. I really felt like that thing could have made sense.
Could have, but I mean,
The
that's
few games I
Google.
tested head to head worked better on Stadia than it did on cloud gaming. Now, granted, this was over a year ago now, right? Because it's been gone for a while, but
Hmm.
there was less lag and latency. I don't
Sitting
know.
right here.
Yeah, that beautiful Bluetooth controller.
Yeah. Put that in the gaming Hall of Fame, right? That's
Yeah.
somebody somewhere has a boxed version of this Stadia controller. In about 20 years, we'll see it up on like a
Mm-hmm.
high-end auction house, go for
Yeah,
like
10 grand or something.
$20,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be like, yep.
Oh
Well,
well. Oh well.
it's Monday.
Sure is. Sure is.